Earlier this month, the U.S. Navy shut down all experiments on cats and dogs. Days before, the National Institute of Health shut down its last Beagle experiment. That specific research killed 5 dogs.
And it all comes after years of public and congressional pressure to find alternatives to animal experiments. 7 News has discovered the NIH was recently planning on continuing those experiments through 2026, which would have meant another 19 beagles dead.
I-Team investigative reporter Scott Taylor has been following the push for alternative animal testing for a very long time and breaks down what the NIH was going to do until it was all shut down.
Internal documents from the National Institutes of Health show U.S. taxpayers paid more than $15,000 in 2024 for 5 beagles who were experimented on to learn more about septic shock at a research facility in Bethesda, Maryland. All 5 14-month-old beagles died. That experiment shut down in early May, but 7 News is now learning much more about how many beagles were set to be killed and how those animals were treated, all in the name of science. White Coat Waste Project, a D.C.-based taxpayers watchdog group, obtained the exclusive records through a Freedom of Information Act request and shared them with the I-Team. As recently as April 15th, NIH told congressional leaders the beagle research was ongoing and NIH called the experiments painful. Multiple vein catheters implanted and throats cut to embed trach tubes. NIH has been doing experiments like these on beagles for decades. It says current canine models offer the ability to induce septic shock that mimic what occurs in humans. Earlier this month, after 9 years of pressure by the public, White Coat Waste Project, and lawmakers, the federal government confirmed with 7 News the beagle experiments are now shut down. Documents show NIH planned on using more of your tax dollars to fund the experiment through August 2026. If allowed to continue, it would have cost the lives of 24 beagles. White Coat Waste Project believes the amount of tax dollars burned by NIH and the beagles' lives never added up to a good investment.
What did we get for it as taxpayers and pet owners here? 40 years and a grand total of 0 cures at the septic shock lab. Scott, what kind of ROI is that? What kind of return on investment is that?
According to the National Library of Medicine, thousands of preclinical trials performed over more than 5 decades have discovered a handful of drugs and techniques that significantly improve outcomes of clinical sepsis. 7 News reached out to multiple organizations that support the humane use of animals in biomedical research. Our question: are there still things we need to know for which only living creatures can effectively provide test results? None of the 4 responded. The NIH and the Navy join a growing list of federal agencies, including the Veterans Affairs Department and the USDA, who are no longer doing experiments on cats and dogs at their research facilities. For the I-Team, Scott Taylor, 7 News.